What is going on, Texans fans? Welcome back to the channel. Listen, our front office has been incredibly busy this offseason refining this roster. But there's one massive elephant in the room that has every single one of us biting our nails. We are talking about the long-term future of our franchise signal caller. Is a blockbuster contract extension actually on the horizon before training camp kicks off? Or are we heading into the season with this situation unresolved? You do not want to miss this update. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. The Houston Texans have successfully navigated a busy 2026 offseason, refining their offensive line, integrating David Montgomery into the run game, and fortifying their defense. With the roster largely set, the most significant remaining narrative is the looming contract extension for star quarterback C.J. Stroud. As training camp approaches in about a month, there's been no substantial reporting on an agreement being finalized. This uncertainty keeps the status of the face of the franchise at the center of internal team discussions. While the silence might suggest that negotiations are dormant, the possibility of a deal before the season begins remains a viable topic. The Texans have previously shown a pattern of being proactive with their core players, which keeps the door open for a late off-season move regarding their signal caller. C.J. Stroud himself has addressed the situation publicly, noting that he leaves the contractual side of things to his agent while he focuses on football and personal development. His consistent stance is that he remains dedicated to his performance on the field, essentially letting his play dictate his future. The timing of such a major contract is delicate, particularly given the league-wide trends of rising quarterback salaries. For the Texans, deciding when to lock in their franchise cornerstone involves balancing current flexibility with the necessity of securing him long-term. As the team prepares for the upcoming campaign, the front office, led by Nick Caserio, faces the task of determining whether to execute a deal now or wait. It is a critical period for the organization as they seek to align their roster commitments with their championship aspirations. Whether the extension happens or remains a point of conversation, it is officially Toro time for the Texans to make their final decisions. The hesitation surrounding a C.J. Stroud extension is largely tied to his recent performance metrics. Coming off his third professional season, the quarterback dealt with challenges reminiscent of his 2024 campaign, including missing 3 games due to the second concussion of his career. These factors provide a logical basis for why some observers remain cautious about a mega deal at this exact moment. Evaluating a long-term commitment for a franchise quarterback involves navigating significant financial risks, especially if the team's outlook does not trend upward in 2026. However, waiting carries its own set of consequences. The market for elite signal callers is highly competitive and consistently inflationary. Every passing year drives up the price tag, with other young stars like Caleb Williams and Drake May approaching their own contract windows. If C.J. Stroud experiences the bounce-back year that many within the facility anticipate, his market value will almost certainly trend higher than it is today. By executing a deal now, the team could potentially hedge against future salary cap spikes and avoid the premiums associated with an escalating market. This financial strategy is not unique to the quarterback position. The Texans have already committed to high-value, long-term deals for other cornerstone players. By securing these key pieces early, the franchise has shown a clear preference for maintaining long-term stability. The question of whether this strategy applies to C.J. Stroud remains the primary point of focus. While the investment required for a quarterback of his caliber could exceed $50 million per season, the long-term benefits of financial predictability could outweigh the short-term risks associated with a potential extension. It is a calculated move that requires balancing the quarterback's recent injury history against his projected long-term trajectory and the inevitable rise in player contract costs. Why does this matter right now for the Houston Texans? The implications extend far beyond a single player's bank account. They go to the heart of the team's salary cap management for the next several years. By addressing the C.J. Stroud extension sooner rather than later, the organization gains clarity on how to allocate resources across other positions. A deal finalized now would lock in the cost of their most important asset, allowing the front office to structure the remainder of the roster with more certainty. This is critical for a team that has already made significant investments in players like Will Anderson, whose annual salary hits $40 million starting in 2028, and Derek Stingley, who secured a $100 million extension last offseason. These moves demonstrate a deliberate, aggressive approach to payroll management that favors locking in top-tier talent early. If the team waits until the 2027 offseason, they risk dealing with an even more expensive market, which could limit their ability to retain other key contributors. The urgency is underscored by the team's desire to remain competitive in a league where depth is earned through smart financial maneuvering. Furthermore, having the contract situation resolved provides a level of certainty that can be valuable for the team as a whole. While players often claim to focus only on football, the reality of the NFL is that contract security is a central pillar of franchise stability. C.J. Stroud has performed under these conditions before, but removing the uncertainty could finalize the team's preparations for the 2026 season. The Texans' willingness to act on their philosophy of paying their own early is a direct reflection of their confidence in the current group. This situation represents a test of that philosophy, pitting the financial realities of the quarterback market against the specific performance variables of their star. The perspective of external experts has added another layer of intrigue to the ongoing C.J. Stroud saga. Adam Schefter, one of the most prominent insiders in the NFL, recently went on the Pat McAfee show to offer his take on the timeline. Schefter suggested that the Texans are likely to get a deal done before the 2026 season kicks off. His reasoning is based on the clear track record of the franchise, which has consistently prioritized paying their foundational players ahead of the league-wide norm. Schefter noted that his hunch is based on the pattern of behavior the organization has established over the last 2 years. This public assessment from a high-level source provides context for the rumors circulating among the fan base. It suggests that while the news from inside the building remains quiet, there is an expectation from those who follow the league closely that the team will stick to its proven strategy. For the Texans, this highlights the challenge of balancing their internal evaluation process with public and media pressure to finalize the deal. If the organization follows the path identified by Schefter, it would signal a continued dedication to their specific financial approach. It would also solidify the team's commitment to C.J. Stroud as the undisputed leader of the offense for the foreseeable future. However, the absence of an announcement thus far proves that the process is complex and governed by internal timelines rather than external predictions. Whether the team chooses to follow this predicted path or elects to wait, the outcome will define their relationship with the player for the next several years. The focus now turns to whether the training camp deadline proves to be the true target for the franchise, or if the timeline will indeed be extended into next season. As the countdown to training camp intensifies, the status of the C.J. Stroud extension serves as the final piece of the 2026 offseason puzzle. While the team has already achieved many of its goals regarding roster construction, the finalization of this deal would provide a definitive conclusion to their current business cycle. All eyes remain on the organization's front office as they decide how to handle the most important contract on their ledger. If the team reaches an agreement in the coming weeks, it would align with their established pattern of rewarding key contributors early. If they decide to table the discussion, it will indicate a shift in strategy, likely influenced by the desire to see more consistency on the field following last year's injury-shortened performance. Regardless of the decision, the franchise's commitment to building a deep and talented team remains clear based on their other recent investments. The financial impact of the quarterback position means that every decision carries significant weight for future seasons, including the potential for future cap carryover. The team has successfully extended other critical pieces of their roster, such as Azeez Al-Shaair, demonstrating that they are not afraid to invest heavily when they believe in the value provided. The case of C.J. Stroud is unique due to the positional market and his recent health, which naturally complicates the timing. Nevertheless, the narrative is now fully focused on the days leading up to the start of camp. It is a period defined by strategic patience and the potential for a final major move. Fans, media, and the organization alike are waiting for that official update to confirm the next step in this journey. For now, the focus is squarely on the field and the preparations that will define the team's upcoming performance.